Welcome to Akhand Vidyashram, the first institute of impeccable wisdom. Let's talk about MAHAGAURI, the 8th Chaitra Navratri day. This is the 8th stage of re-evolution, rising to the higher and higher levels of spiritual science. Let me start from what I do believe is my first step in rising to higher and higher levels of universal consciousness with impeccable wisdom for the benefit of everyone in the world to have a perfect education, enlightenment, and empowerment which will unite the humanity with a perfect knowledge completely. And I believe truth is the only thing which always wins. Truth Satya Mev Jayate. And Satya is infinity, Satya is everything, and Satya is Om, and Satya is Shivam Sundaram. From that point of view, let me start with only truth, and I do know Aham Brahmasmi is the greatest statement ever made. As a single statement, Aham means me. Brahma is Ishwar, the God, the creator, and Asi is identical. We human beings are the microcosmic representation of the macrocosmic universe is the biggest statement which Aham Brahmasmi says. It is also we repeated many of the prophets of the world, great sages, and the people who are enlightened, empowered with the universal consciousness, who are in tune with the universal consciousness as such, that we are all made in the identical image of the God. And without naming any individual, this is universally accepted that we are made in the image of God, and that's what I believe. If you want to be a perfect human being, once you start working as a perfect human being, as a truthful, non-violent, keeping everybody as a part of universal consciousness, that's the time you would literally become like God incarnate. And this particular picture of the solar system, a spiral galaxy, is made of 10.34419 spirals, and we all know spiral galaxy is made for 10 suns, and I do it's the 10.33419 is the right mathematical formula to understand universal consciousness very clearly. First, the solar system itself is made of 21 and 22 parts. That solar system is made of 21 parts, 7 part of the earth, 7 part of the antariksh atmosphere, and 7 heavens. These 7 plus 7 plus 7 is 21, within which the solar system. To go beyond the solar system, you take the 22nd step. That is what Upanishads talk about it. That is what I experience, and that's what I see at every level, one by one. So from that 22 by 21 to the power of 10.344 is equivalent to 1.618034. That is the wisdom which Divyank is talking about it. In the light of that, I am experiencing things within me and sharing that for the love of the world. That is the reality of Divyank, revealed for the first time in 2015, and this is the only mathematical design which is perfect for the world to know and do all the research in physics, chemistry, and medical sciences with Divyank to give the impeccable wisdom to the world, and that is what Akhand Vidyashram stands for. Now come to the question of we human beings have the most evolved brain one by one, and I do know this is where we start now questioning the knowledge which we have in the world. Are our neuroscientists absolutely right? No, because they don't even know the function of the outer 3 layers of neocortex. What kind of neuroscience is they talking about? Without the most important part which makes human being the most evolved brain in the world, and nobody can match. It's only because the 3 outer layers are not found in any other being except human beings as such. And I'm talking about perfect integrated human being. I'm not talking of defective models. I'm a medical doctor who is talking of perfect anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, and psychology, not of the defective models. Let's forget about it. If we have the perfect anatomy, physiology, biochemistry and psychology, only then we can understand the differences. Without a perfect model, imperfection cannot be. And that the world is only talking of defects, defects and defects and confusing everybody. Akhand Vidyashram has started doing that very clearly from 2015, and slowly and steadily in different spheres I am moving on. Maybe today is the 8th day, tomorrow is the 9th day, maybe from 10th day onward, I'll start making very precise, concise presentations which would have the perfect Divyank and how the nature works and what is taught and why defective it is and what is the applied part in a very precise, concise, as short as sweet. So far I have been talking of longer videos which people find it difficult. Maybe after 10th, the Vijayadashmi of this 10th, you'll start getting small, but maybe many videos every day, but each by itself is a beauty by itself. Just wait and see for another 2 days when we are going to come down to level of short, sweet, precise, without any defect whatsoever. And this is the first statement which is very, very important for me, because this is what has brought me to universal consciousness of Divyank and impeccable wisdom as such, very intelligently, very intuitively, by eliminating all the defects in senses, mind, buddhi, intellect and consciousness, what we understand. Now from that point of view, the answer is the three outer layers of neocortex are the antenna to the Akash Kosh, and that is ionosphere layer of the atmosphere of the earth itself. And it has all the records of the past, present and future recorded there, which has the information which I am downloading from. I am not depending on Google or any search which is available on the earth in books, journals or otherwise. This is my experience from there, and keeping that in mind, I am giving something by analyzing the knowledge which is defective, giving the perfect and saying how we can reach that level. Now, Schumann resonance field is another thing which science has given to the world, and it has 3 stages of around the earth is the ionosphere. The innermost is 7.83 hertz, and that is what I am concentrating on. Anyone who can produce 7.83 alpha frequency throughout 64 parts of the brain, peak 8 or 7.83 is the one who will be in tune with Akash Kosh. He is the one who is going to understand each and every concept very clearly. This is the result of my PhD work, which is after my PhD work moving to that stage, and particularly after recognizing Divyank. This is the picture taken after recognizing. You can see 8 hertz alpha frequency in all the 16 here, but I know I have seen in all the 64 parts same consistent, same power, with open eyes, open senses, open in everything, without any control of any nature. Me with the universal consciousness, me with that is that. And it goes to prove a statement of neuroscientists that we produce 10.5 hertz predominant alpha frequency from posterior brain with the eyes closed and mind at rest, and that too not rest of the brain, is defective statement. This is a perfect statement. Now come to the question which I am not starting. Next 2 days you are going to see that, today and tomorrow. After that is going to be short and sweet. The concept of impeccable wisdom of Akhand Vidyashram are founded on my personal spiritual science experiences and integrated divine mathematical conviction. And I do know it is a divine mathematics which is important. With that which I have found within this is what is written as impeccable in Akhand Vidyashram, not based on what is written by others. It is not copy of anybody, but it is a divine mission for perfection to start of the new Satya Yuga. Truthful, honest is what it is. And I also have made a statement, it is not Aryabhata who invented zero, It was started as a Shunya, Atma, dot, zero, way back in Rigved itself. And from that to Shunya, how I have gone, you are going to see that step by step as we move on from day after tomorrow onwards. The source is the goddess Durga and Mahishasura, a story where here I am talking about at 8th level. We will talk about up to 9th level. Then we will start a journey from Shunya itself day after tomorrow onwards. Short and sweet. Now Mahishasura is a buffalo demon. He had achieved blessing that no male can ever kill him. Only a female can be in a position to kill him by any chance, but not a male. Perhaps he thought males are very powerful and females are not powerful. Maybe that is concept. But as a result, as a male buffalo, or whatever you call it, he started terrorizing everybody in all the three spheres, on the earth, on the antriksh, and the heavens. All the 721 parts, he started terrorizing everybody, including all the gods and goddesses. Everybody was terrorized by him. That's the time all the gods and goddesses got together to produce goddess Durga with their energies or their Atma as such. And I would put it Atma as such because this is inert matter which matters. They are the one which have all the power to give us the impeccable wisdom by and large. But let me also share, till I started making from Shailputri, I was under the impression that there are 8 arms of goddess Durga. With that picture I have made, but now I know it's 18 arms, not 8 arms, just like Adi Parashakti. She represents the Divine Mother of creation, and I think let's start with that. Now this particular picture by an artist, I admire it. You have seen the buffalo demon Mahishasura being killed, and again goddess Durga is on the lion. Lion is the king of forests. In animal king, most ferocious, most violent, very expressive is a lion. No wonder in the symbol of India or even Shoka's thing are 3 or 4 lions alone. That has got a power. Let's not call it terrorizing. She is called power to see that evil is stopped and victory is won. And right on that you can see Dada Dusri as a Chamundeshwari. She is killing Mahishasura as such, and she is the one who has killed all the Vijas, Chanda, Munda, Raktavij and others. Maybe that is what it makes this view, and that's what I realized. 18 arms have something very special in spiritual science by and large. That's one. Now this particular temple is Chamundeshwari temple near Mysore. You can see there are 7 levels here. There are only 7 spheres. That is a very mythologically a concept by an artist who understands divine mathematics. There are only 7 levels. Then in each side you have 10 at each level, and everything in this particular design is phenomenal. This is a temple made in India near Mysore, Akhand Bharat, many centuries ago. And this is a picture of Chamundeshwari in the same temple near Mysore. Now, since I am going to talk about spiritual science, spirituality and science, where there is a merging together with the perfection, I am going to talk about it. Anything other than that, there is no need. The defects which we are teaching to be eliminated with the impeccable wisdom of spiritual science is there. So in this, the left side, you can see 7 periods are the same 7 levels of the temple, and 18 groups show that this is where you come to inert matter. The first line is hydrogen and helium 2 alone. The next 2 you have 8, 8. Then you have 18 and 18. This is again a mathematical design which I'll start showing why so beautiful in that. And this has God taught me how divine mathematics done by individuals, the perfect ones with the perfect ancient Indian wisdom is what I'm going to talk about. Many people believe that Indians are talking about pseudoscience. But let's not bring those people into the picture who do not understand divine mathematics, who do not understand physics, who don't understand chemistry, who do not understand medical sciences, who do not understand 64 arts, to be considered for any authority on spiritual science of Akhand Bharat. Let's take someone who understands all the 64 arts completely, like nature, people like those Brahmins who wrote Vedas and Upanishads, and maybe today Shibhushan Sharma by and large is trying to become a Brahman who is in tune with Brahman of Nirankar, Nirgun Brahman or Sakar Sargun Brahman, and that is impeccable wisdom it is all about. It is not pointing finger at it. We are looking for impeccable wisdom, nothing other than that. Now there comes to this picture of Adi Prashakti. You can see she is the one an artist has shown. Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh are produced by her. But you can see 9 petals outside on top and 9 down. That is again 18 arms. That's the most beautiful part. She is the Divine Mother. She has created Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, even Saraswati, Mahalakshmi, Mahakali. All the human beings are perfect, are made by Adi Prashakti only, and that is that aspect of Adi Prashakti which is not known to the world is what I am talking about. That is what we are going to concentrate so that we have impeccable wisdom uniform for everyone in the world. Now, I am making one point very clear. All the information which I am sharing with you is a dialogue between Shibhushan Sharma and my indwelling soul and the voice of silence, and that is Aditi by and large. That is helium 4 which has come from the sun. And based on the information which was told to me that after the battle of right over evil between goddess Durga, Mahishasura and all the demons, when everything finished on Vijayadashmi, that's the time goddess Durga wanted to get married to Vishnu. And Vishnu said, I cannot get married to your goddess, you have got all the divine energy, you have to take birth in human form and come as reincarnated as such. And then reason she took birth as Vaishnavi in Kanyakumari, and after that she moved on to Trikuta mountain, which is my hometown, and then she is sitting there and doing this. But the picture there is the 8 arms, which is again oxygen. And I was made to understand in the beginning that she is doing tapasya to become Gayatri with 10 arms. Now I see actually she is working up to 18th arms itself. I think that is the improvement in the knowledge. As a child, 8 arms. Then after initiation, when I was in Shri Mata Vaishno University, it is 10 arms like Gayatri, and now I am talking about 18 arms. I think that is where spirituality also evolves stages as we move on to cover more and more areas of research as such. This also is the truth. And this is where the Kanyakumari is right at the bottom of Akhand Bharat, where all the 3 seas merge together, Arabian Sea, Western Bengal and Indian Mahasagar. That is a sight, is a beautiful to watch sunrise and sunset simultaneously. That's a beautiful part. She was born there. From there she has come to Trikuta mountain, you can see on right top. That is my hometown of Katra, and we will see that place. Now this is the 3 mountains in Trikuta mountain which are right on top during winter. They represent Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. But inside the temple, cave, you have 3 pindis, idols of Saraswati, Mahalakshmi, Mahakali. And they are in the form of it as a Dattatreya. And I think that was a phenomenal experience since my childhood. Maybe that's the reason I've taken birth there. So I understand Divyank from there, and slowly over a period, with my focus on Mata Vaishnavi, sitting in her lap, asking her question unconsciously, subconsciously, and getting led automatically, very subconsciously, unconsciously, first 40 years. But subsequent to initiation to simplified Kundalini Yoga, it was a dialogue between me and my Antaratma and then Goddess Durga and all the divinities, how I evolved from 1991 onwards. And this is a picture of Lord Dattatreya, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh with 6 arms is something which Anasuya made to unite Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh and come to test her integrity. She is Rishi Atriya's wife and she is the one given credit of making this particular concept. Hats off to her, hats off to Rishi Atri to write about Aitreya Upanishads in the light of the wisdom given in Rig Veda. That was a phenomenal Brahman. I salute, and I say they are the one who taught me how to write beautifully that ordinary man cannot even understand Rig Veda or Vedas, Upanishads, other thing, because wisdom needs to be contemplated with the intelligent mind and intuition, not by anything other than highest universal consciousness, impeccable wisdom. And now I am sharing that only from that angle. I am not coming down to any level lower than impeccable wisdom. Now, Aitreya Upanishad, as I told you, is a copy of Rig Veda. In this particular picture, I have seen the soul contemplates to produce how many divinities, how many manas should be produced, and it talks about only 8 divinities. Maybe that's what Durga is shown with 8, and that is 5 bhutas: Bhumi, Jal, Agni, Vayu, Akash, plus the mind, plus the reproduction, plus the evolution. I think those 5 plus 3 are the one which again Divyank, which makes 8, and hats off to Rishi Atri in Aitreya Upanishad to talk about it. At the same time, I am glad that he put that food for Lokpalan could be received only through Apana. And I am very sorry to say, no one in the world before Shibhushan Sharma knew that Apana is the umbilical cord. I think that's again a phenomenal thing. Much more you're going to see as we start from day after tomorrow onwards. And that will be short and sweet, maybe short as sweet as short as possible, but very conclusive. So they're out. Now come to the goddess Aditi, which is my indwelling soul, and I make it as in periodic table. The first element, which is hydrogen, is the most abundant. Second most abundant is helium 4. And the helium 4, which is formed in the sun from hydrogen 4 atoms to this with 6000 degrees centigrade, the part which is released becomes the human soul, and it can stand up to 6000 degrees before it can be dissolved. If it has to go back to sun, it can get dissolved, and that could be moksha, but otherwise you can take birth again and again, and helium is a bridge between last life and present life to move on. And this particular emission of Aditi in Rig Veda is like Daksha is the king, and king's mother and daughter are Aditi. This statement has not been understood by anybody, and this same thing in Upanishad is Aditya's mother and daughter is Aditi. This is also statement has not been understood. And I say the beautiful 2 arms, 2 proton, 2 neutron is a human soul, Antaratma, Kundalini and Aditi by and large. To understand the concept, what happens in nuclear reaction, which I have already explained, will be explained later. Now coming to the question of 7 pillars of wisdom, which has brought me to impeccable wisdom in divine mathematics, is very, very simple. Foundation is Satya, Ahimsa, Dharma, Bhakti, everything which is required from 0 level to Divyank level of mathematical design, how you move on is Satya, Dharma, Bhakti. Arthik, Nitis, Karm, Moksha should be perfect. These are the 1, 2, 3. Then Gyan is the philosophy is the fourth one, Vigyan is the fifth one, absolute wisdom is seventh one, and Ganit Vidya of Divyank is the seventh one, which has brought me to the level of everything conscientiously, and I'm sharing that hereafter. Now Shalputri, I have already explained, this is the first stage of evolution, and Shalputri, if I look at Maharishi Patanjali's Yoga Sutra Ashtang Yoga is again 8, but it's talking about only mind, and fluctuation of mind should be stopped to reach yourself. Chit Vritti Nirodh Yogas. Only after that you can be in connection with Antaratma. Antaratma is not spoken of in Ashtanga Yoga, it's only talked about mind, and Kaleshas are defects connected with mind, and how the fluctuation should be stopped. When it's completely stopped, you come to stage of Samadhi. And Samadhi state only I can produce 8 Hz frequency. That was my PhD work as such. I think that is one part. Now, on that, she is the first rising of inner consciousness. Is Shailputri is a beautiful girl. And how she is connected with Muladhara Chakra, which is 4 petals, and the phonetic sound, Beach mantra is Lam, and that's a picture which I have done. Now, how it is connected with coccygeal ganglion or ganglion empire, which is the lowermost uniting part of both 22 ganglion of left side and 22 of right side, and right at 145. From 28 preganglion nerves is again Divyang, and same thing which I would say Ida and Pingala are left and right things, and Muladhara is bottom, where Ida, Pingala and Muladhara meet together is the same thing which Tantra talks about. This is something which neuroscience I am talking about. Whereas vertebral column as such is the Sushumna Nadi. Now come to the question, Shalputri. She is in that what was sleeping, my what you say Aditi sleeps in Muladhara to take rest, conserve energy and preserve. But when she wakes up, she comes to waking consciousness in Muladhara. Once she is there, make use of Shalputri is going to make you perfectly healthy, wealthy, wise and happy. That should be the activation of Muladhara Chakra, to be perfectly healthy, to be perfectly wealthy, wise and everything you should earn by yourself, not by grab, not as a terrorist activities. On your intelligence, on your work, as a karma yogi, which Gita talks about, karmanye vadikare ma phileshu kadati. Do your work to them without worrying about food. When you go after Saraswati, Lakshmi automatically comes. In that stage, you will be perfectly healthy, good worker, and you will have all the wealth, everything. Use what is required. And that is the thing which is written very well in 3 shlokas or 3 mantras, which Maharishi Yajnavalkya talked about it in Brihad Upanishad itself. Asdo ma satgame. Take me from untruth to truth is the first stage. Tamso ma to Jyotiga. From ignorance, darkness to light of the universe as such. That is also some many people have spoken about it. From Mrityoma to Amritya. Dead body which is not active, to make me immortal even after my physical death, I should be remembered one. As even today I am talking about Yajnavalkya, even after 5000 years, that he is immortal, and that is the third thing he is talking about. I think that is phenomenal, that we should be remembered for impeccable wisdom which is perfect, not anything shorter than that. Now Shalputri is again another wisdom I am talking about, is connected with Bhumi or Earth or Prithvi. That is the first of the elements I am talking about of Navagraha itself. But when you look at Navagraha, Earth is not at the part of Navagraha. It is more as Rahu head and water and fish. And I think that's again enlightening part which I have demystified. 9 Rahu is Earth, and that is connected with Muladhara Chakra. Then divine fish is the first stage in vertebral evolution, which even Darwin talks about it, and Dasavatara or Vishnu also start with fish alone. Then second is Brahmachari, the woman, girl. Shalputri was a girl. When she starts menstruating, ready to be a mother, She becomes brahmachari, great character. With brahmachar and brahmachari together, when they become couple, they become the Satyavan and Savitri, and the family they produce is phenomenal. And they are the one who can be called Brahman children, in tune with Brahman, and give the impeccable wisdom of the highest art. I think I'm just trying to prove to myself that I'm son of brahmacharya father, brahmachari my mother, and with that I'm taking to stage of provocation is the second stage. And in the process I start about sacral parasympathetic system, how beautiful it is to create divine children. If the Bhumi rin is there, because everything we get from Bhumi is one of the recommendations for every human being. Their ancestral depth, Pitra rin, is what brahmachari gives you. We have come from our parents. We should produce devas for others. That's the reason Kashyap's Aditi sons are devas. We should produce devas, not dhanavas, not Diti. Let's forget about Aditi. Have concentration only Aditi, and us put together, we produce divine children. If we don't have human beings and Aditi together, we will make all the mistakes. But Aditi will never let you make mistakes, and that is what every human being is. It is not Kashyap alone. All of us have Aditi within us. Once we live to Aditi, we become godly. Once we are not listening to Aditi, we become demonic asuras by and large. It's very simple with every human being. Truth makes us perfect. Ahimsa makes us perfect. Love for intentions of universal consciousness makes us perfect. And that is Aditi is telling me, and I am sharing with the world, that I have seen only within me, and I can do wonders as such. That is the consciousness which every human being should do. With that, Lam to Vam is the Bij mantra. From 4 lotus, 6 lotus petal is the second thing as brahmachari as such. Then come to the question, as earth is for this, heat it's the Venus, which is Shukra as such, with a Friday. Now, second in Vishnu's avatar is Kurma the tortoise, and she is used as a sport for vertebral column, or you say Meru mountain, to think. So again, Sushmna Nadi, Meru mountain, and the sport here is sexual energy. When sexual energy, sports and churning of Ida, Pingla and Sushmna comes, the one when testosterone is converted to estrogen, and that is most intelligent part, and that is what is Meru mountain giving to whole energy of brahmacharya to preserve, transform testosterone, estrogen, and increase your intelligence, increase your muscle power, increase RBCs, increase oxygen, and make you superhuman being. And that is like a mace of Hanuman is a representation of that, is connected with this, and that is what Sat Chakra Navratri is talking about, Vahni Nadi. When Medu mountain goes Mehri Nadi, you become a perfectly fantastic person. You are going to see that in slowly in all the pictures thereafter, from maybe day after tomorrow, is going to be phenomenal, short and sweet. Then I am showing there are 3 nerves, S2, S3, S4 of the 5 segment which makes sacral parasympathetic. These 3 nerves supply the 5 organs, and that is again Divyang. Now come to the question of perfect means to cycle is known to me only because I understand brahmachari completely. Having got married, having got 2 sons, having seen the world as such, I think I understand female menstrual cycle better than anyone else, because they are not even giving respect to the women at all. And I am sorry to say, entire medical profession throughout the world does not even know what the perfect human cycle. I get again and again. This is the perfect one, revealed for the first time by Shibhushan Sharma after making Divyang, and then looking at the whole thing fresh with all the evidence is this particular picture. Now come to the third stage of Chandrakanta. This is again a picture which made me realize that it's the moon which is at the third stage. I think that was another enlightening experience after I started making these videos. And that is third stage. And in this picture you can see Agni, Vayu, Jal, Bhumi, Jal or Agni is the third level. And third stage is that in this picture you can only see the light around, with the hand being you Tamsoma Jyotirgamya is light, Agni. Now the chakra is a Navi chakra with 10 petals, and the sound is Ram. Lam, Vam and Ram. And this is again Sanskrit start. 4 sounds, 6 sounds, no 10 aksharas. Now come to this connected with moon and the fluctuating mind. Once you understand the fluctuating mind completely out of mind, and you only then you can move on to Antaratma, otherwise not at all possible. So this mind, controlling the mind, is the only one which is going to give you power. You should not kill the moon or the mind with the drugs or anything. You should use it effectively to reach impeccable wisdom. Without the mind you cannot. Indriya give you information, mind gives you understand, take it to buddhi, intelligent, intuition, impeccable wisdom, and perfection can come only through the mind. It's not by the killing mind, but that is Annamay Kosh to Pranamay Kosh to Manomay Kosh is the 3 things which I am talking about. We are going to see that also thereafter in a much more classified way. Now come to the question of Varha. The third is wild boar and the one which saved life as such. Now I am coming to the Vijayadashmi, when Sri Rama could not kill Ravana at all. 9 times he attacked, he fell down, he rose again. But finally Vibhishan told him, you cannot kill Ravan unless and you attack his navel. Only after attacking navel you can. Even God did not know how to kill a perfect, intelligent, divine Brahman son. That is Ravan, very intelligent. He is more powerful than even gods and goddesses, and hats off to him. And that's why he has a tenor. But after attacking his navel thing, he died, and that is the duty. How beautiful is the Ramayana that he could not be killed unless his navel is attacked. Is it a science or a mythological? Let's talk about it. Now come to the question of, it is connected with adrenal gland. Adrenal gland has got 3 cortical layers. First layer produces minerocortical, which preserves water and electrolytes. Second one, glucocorticoid for glucose. Third for testosterone and estrogen for giving the impeccable. These are the 3 one make you perfect, to have a perfect homeostasis. Same blood which enters from the capsule goes up to the 4th layer of medulla, which produces catecholamines or adrenaline or sympathomimetic hormones. So these are the 4 things which make you survive. Anyone whose adrenal gland is perfectly healthy, you will be able to survive with even constraints and restraints. That is the beauty thing which I realized at 3rd stage. Now come to the 4th stage of thing. As I told you in the first, it is apana prana, which is essential to throw things out, but that is also the thing with the umbilical cord which food got. But when come to the Kushunda, it is a samana prana, that is, which is connected with digestion, and that is where vagus comes to play a role. Once is predominant, it can help in digestion of preserving water, electrolytes, nutrients, everything which is absolutely essential for homeostasis. That's the 4th level, how we become perfect with the knowledge, and that's it. And in this particular picture you can see she is shown with a pot which is Amrit itself. If you have perfect samana prana, you can be as perfect as, because I do make it. Amrit is nothing but water alone. 61.803% water is maintained on earth, in the body and the cell. You are going to live for years and years together perfectly. That is what Amrit is all about. So, Mrityu to Amrit, living also better, and the knowledge you gain which share will keep you immortal for generations to come. Now here it is again, Manipura is like Nabhi alone. These are 2 contemporaries. This is something which people do not talk about it. But I say Nabhi is 3rd one, 4th is Manipura, and this is also 10 petals. And the planet it is Mercury, which is neutral planet, and you can see as a Buddhan down. Buddh, Mercury, Kushmanda are identical. Then come to next, Skand Mata is the mother of Skand Kartik. Kartik is son of Shiva and Parvati, and Kartik has 6 heads. That is the 5th stage of spiritual evolution which you are talking about. 5th and 6th is with Kartik alone. You can see this picture, Kartik sitting in the lap of goddess Durga itself. So she shows even at 5th level itself, you come to the 6th stage. And this is also Satyachakra Chakra Nirupana also talks about, is like that only. And then again line, again like, and I think that's a beautiful thing put together to come to 6th level. Then it comes to Anhata Chakra, which has got 12 petals, and you have 12 aksharas in this. 4 plus 6 plus 10 plus 12. You have come to literally 32 things. I think that is again a phenomenal thing. Now come to the question, I connected with Sun. So that is again thing which is coming up in Navagraha, and Navratri have all the 9 things put together. Then comes to Katyayani, the mother of Skand, mother again, mother of her, and is 6th level of spiritual evolution. In this picture, you can see her only as a divine mother of Chit, and showing that how you reach a much higher level of consciousness in the process. And here it is connected with Shuddhi Chakra. Vishuddhi Chakra is again which is connected with Shiva, Neelkant as such, and there are 16 petals. And that is also chakra. That is what I have talked about. Now literally come to 48. And the planet which is called is Mangal, the Mars. This is again connected with Udhana Prana. If it is Apana, Samana, Prana Prana to Udhana Prana, you have come to the stage you are going to rise to higher and higher level, even in Prana Shakti, the 4th level to the head again from Vishuddhi Chakra alone. And this about Neelkantha, that is iodine, and this is also equivalent to xenon. With the 53 to 54 is something I realized as I reached understand Katyayani by and large. We have already discussed, maybe we are going to discuss this much more later as such in shorter version. Then come to the Kalratri, the 7th stage, and this is when I look at Navagraha, there is a body of Ketu. And it is said about moon, it is not true. If Rahu is Bhumi, earth, the body of Ketu is asteroid belt, which is a beautiful space between Mars and Jupiter, and it's highly designed within. We are going to talk about it. I have already spoken. Maybe it will take it up one smaller parts and take each aspect later as a. This is 7th level. And this particular thing, you come to the dark night of time and space, and you have a Dumbo, and how she is able to make even Dumbos like horses. And when I talk of the horses, and I talk again Aitri Upanishad, it was the cow and the horse which was considered, not any other animal. Third one was a perfect human being. It speaks. But copycat people are like this hard-working without applying mind. You come to the level to take time and space, you go to 4th dimension as such. Now this particular chakra is Ajna Chakra with 2 lotus petals. Right up to this has been talked about by Satyachakra Nirupana as such. And the phonetic sound is hum and sham, you can see on both the sides on top. And same thing I have converted into down. I think that speaks volumes. That is Kalratri, hum, sham. Lam, vam, ram, yam and hum. This is level. Now come to the question, it's an asteroid belt I have spoken, and that is what Ketu is all about. Then Mahagauri, the today's thing, is a pure divine consciousness. Maha means great. Gauri is white. The pure divine white light as such. All the colors are left. You come to that stage. That's 8th level of thing. That means all the 7 colors which light talks about it. Once they merge together, they become white light. That is Mahagauri is. You have come to white light, seeing things as it is. No colors at all. Purity are the highest. That is Mahagauri. And then picture you can see how perfect Gauri is only connected with Trishul and this music. She is universal consciousness as such. Satchit Anand of Samadhi. All what I am talking about is seen in this particular picture very clearly. Then come to the further. I have connected with Vigyan Chakra, which is 52 letters, and that's a perfect of this. The prefix is tri, you can see on the top, and suffix is Gyan. When Trimurti, Trilok, and all the three aspects are understood, and all the Gyan, Vigyan, Pragyan, Akhandata is understood. When those are understood, you come to Vigyan Chakra, Mahagauri, and that is a 52 nuclei. In that, at that stage, even Sanskrit language comes to a completion. By the time you come to stage of 52 letters, double the amount of English letters, but every akshara itself is a perfect divine letter. You call it Shruti, and having understood that Shruti, you move on to much higher level from thereafter. Now come to the question of planet. It is a Jupiter planet which is a Guru or Guruvar, and this is something which I realize. Guru is the one which gives you wisdom. That's why when you go beyond mind, you come to Guru level. That is where knowledge of higher consciousness starts emerging. She is the Guru as such at that season. She has the purity. Beyond the 7 color to 8th level is something which I do believe has made me come. Whatever you talk from there is a perfect wisdom. You have Sanskrit's completion, knowledge is complete, and you are literally like a guru for the world. Your Atma has become guru only at 8th level. But in the process, Navagraha, I think I have explained very clearly up to this. You have seen, but only one thing is left in this is Saturn. That is going to the next one. Other 8 have already been explained. You have explained the sun, you have explained the moon, you have explained the Mars, you have explained Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. 6 you have finished. You have also talked about Rahu, and Ketu. But Saturn we will talk tomorrow. And same thing here, right up to 8th level of Mahagauri we have come in the same concept, in the same form. Next we are going to take it to the next, which is Siddhi completely. I think once you come to that, we have reached a very high level of that. So this is beauty till today. Now, as I told you, head of Rahu is Earth, Ketu is asteroid belt. This is genuine science which I have experienced, and this is what I am talking about. And this particular picture, Ida, Pingla, Sushmana, Nadi, all what I have spoken about is there in this itself. Right up to bottom part where 2 stakes are there. Right up to Vigyan we have reached. Tomorrow we are going to Pragyan. We will see about it. Then go on to the next stage in a much shorter, sweeter, things like that. I think this is enough for the day. Thank you very